as we get closer and closer to a mind-boggling run up in the crypto market, you should be aware of these scenarios. What's happening right now in front of you gives you a bit more clarity. And as you also understand that the Ether ETF is being pushed a little bit further, not early July, but most likely mid to late July. Now, this gives more time to speculate on Ether, and that attracts more capital. It's not me saying that, it's the exchanges, the war between the exchanges highlighting the fact that you are getting more customers entering. And it's not just that, you're watching them buying a lot more. And as you look through the market, you're watching people buying hundreds, if not thousands, of bitcoins in just few days. And this is just one such wallet. There will be a lot more, which means the price action which we are watching, the support which is being retained, that is delivering a big news. And that is what you're watching in front of you on the Ether 3-day chart. This candle clearly highlights the fact that it would like to go back up. Historically speaking, we have seen that. What about XRP? What about Bitcoin? What do they show you right now, which would mean the next 2 days to 2 weeks? So we're going to break that down here now. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where the normal retail guys get to learn how to become the next top 10% of this world. If you do look at the volume on Bitcoin weekly, that's a weekly volume, and we kind of only have around 24 hours to get this weekly candle closed along with the monthly candle. So it's the daily, it's the weekly, it's the monthly. It doesn't happen every now and then, and usually you get a lot of volatility during that particular candle. For example, you pick this candle up and see what happened back then. So the month actually ended there and the volatility was through the sky. And this time around, most likely it's going to be a bit more. So let's see what's in front of us. The Bitcoin weekly highlights that we got a little bit more volume, selling volume, compared to the last week. But then you don't actually see a lot more selling happening. Whatever is being sold is absorbed by someone. Why would I say this? You go up, look at this. When the same was happening, while the buying power versus the selling power ratio showed you similar idea, you made the base there. Yeah, it was volatile, you had long wick, but then the price went back up. So the weekly is starting to look a bit more positive. Now we are here on a 3-day. It shows you are literally trying to push back up. So for certainty in this uncertain market, you go into a daily chart and it's like, okay, I'm still bound to this mother candle. I'm not moving above or below. So a break above 63,000 is going to give you the idea we are back into that range. We're going to 71, 72. If we take XRP for that matter, we haven't even moved for few days. It's almost the same price for last 4-5 days, which kind of gives you another idea. That means it's coiling up for something big. The price action in Ether clearly highlights the same fact. Now, if you understand that, this daily close which we are looking at can change a lot of things. What if there is a burst above the moving average, just like this one? That can change the narrative. And greed to fear, the fear to greed, that movement happens very quickly. in crypto market. One of the reasons is we have a lot of youngsters who react to information very quickly, and the emotional side tends to push that to the extremes. With institutions, whether it's to the upside or to the downside, they push it a little bit further. Now, on a weekly chart, you're looking at Ether and it says 3,358 is the 21-day moving average, standard moving average, Ether weekly. And it gives you the idea that the support which you're observing is holding strong, which on a weekly is making a hammer candle. It's important. Why? It's not only the price action, which is turning bullish, but the MACD is still in the positive territory. So any bounce off from here should lead you to a next great rally. What's next? Monthly candle close, which is coming tomorrow, gives you an idea that the bullish engulfing candle is still relevant and valid. So the last month, Ether delivered a bullish engulfing candle. Now June is trying to erase that, but it failed. The entire month it remained choppy. So if we go back in time and look at something like this, what you will understand is the fact that when you go back into the market, we had exactly similar scenario. We had 1 month which was really good, bullish. The next month, a little bit choppy, but it failed to close below the previous one, being an engulfing move, which meant the next two candles just bursted through. It went through the all-time highs. Now, put that into perspective, July and August, Ether can go above 5,000, 6,000 range, which is very much positive for the altcoin market. So you do have to look at the altcoin market altogether. And you're like, okay, the monthly is choppy, agreed. But if you do look through the noise, what can you understand? We're still at a point of consolidation, which is still very choppy, where the engulfing candle remains stable, which means bears are in control on the monthly. They're trying to pull it back down for a corrective leg. Now you zoom in on the weekly, you want to see whether that corrective leg is almost over. For that, the weekly gives you a clear idea, just like this. That's a symmetrical triangle, so you need to break to the upside. Any bounce from here would be limited like this, which is $1.09 trillion, and it's inside that symmetrical triangle. That means when you zoom in a 3-day chart, now you're watching something similar to that of the Ether inverted hammer, which is a bullish reversal signal. Whenever we get those kind of thought process from the market, it has been the local bottom, which now for us is like, okay, what does that mean in different segments of the market? You go look at the total market on the side, say DeFi, if you want to actually take on that. And when you actually look at a weekly chart for the same, you're like, we are at a support. Are we going to break to the downside? As of now, it highlights it's starting to build hidden bullish divergence. That's one. But what's more important is this RSI and the last 2-year trend line, which is drawn just in front of you. This highlights the fact that, okay, there can be a bit more choppiness. However, you're very, very close to a macro support. And that trend line has been valid all the way from 2022 June. Then another touch came in 2022 December. Then 2023 June. And here we are 2024 June. So after 2 years, we are After a year, we are revisiting that trend line, and it has been valid for last 2 years. So such a trend line should attract a lot more buying power. So the DeFi segment will absorb more capital. Now, one of the best DeFi side of things we look at is XRP, XLM, that kind of thought process. And if you go back into the XRP to Bitcoin chart on a weekly, on a monthly, wherever you want to go, this is what you're watching. The MACD crossed to the upside and you're waiting for the weekly close. You're waiting for the monthly close. The monthly shows you a bullish hammer in the support region. RSI is still at 37. So the monthly argues it has a lot of way to the upside. The weekly shows you it's just starting. The 3-day shows you it's about to start, which is at 44. Above 50, you can say it's starting. Daily shows you I'm at 57. I'm already in that positive territory. By 70, I'm going FOMO. We have not yet reached the FOMO zone. However, we are getting closer, which then kind of, argues like, okay, let's look at different assets in the market. Let it be some ERC20 tokens. Let it be any macro assets which you like. But when you actually go back to the macro chart, the argument which the market is putting in front of you is valid. Remember, when the price dropped to this level and it was at the bottom, the argument which I gave to the SI family was clear. I think this is going to be the trend line. I think the hidden bullish divergence is going to resonate with the buyers, because usually that's a signal which shows buyers are becoming stronger. And if that's true, and in most cases it has been, the next leg is going to be a micro 1, 2, 3, which creates another leg up, which would be all-time highs in one of the large cap assets, just that it's ERC20 token. Now, if you pick the bottom of the price and then argue what the RSI was showing you, now you're saying, I need to see a negative divergence in this asset in this run up, wherever it goes in terms of price. The all-time highs is kind of $6,000. So if it actually goes to 6,000, 7,000, 8,000, wherever it goes. But if you see a negative divergence like this, that's the time to move out of that asset. At that time, you should be watching money moving from that asset to another segment of asset. It can be the entire ERC20s. It can be the payments. It can be the gaming. It can be the smart contracts. And that's where you need to go through one by one. Each segment, large cap, small cap, you need to break them down. This is why in the SI family, we try going in detail, going through hundreds of assets over a week so that you know what's happening in the market. And if you want to join that 1,200 plus members, use the link in the description to get all those assets and their latest updates. Now, why is that so important? Because when you're here, say this is smart contracts, you're watching, we had a negative divergence, we dropped. But did we invalidate the bullish scenario? It's actually an easy question, very easy question. Because right now what you're watching is Cardano on a monthly, and it clearly shows you the structure, which is the 1, the 2, the 3 is most likely scenario on a micro leg. Interesting, right? That means what's going to be the macro? This is the 1. You will come back down, then there is going to be a 2. So there is going to be something. However, you also understand the time taken for such a big move is very limited. So it's not going to be this long. Time can be this short. Timing is the hardest part. That's why we say it's not about timing the market. It's way more about time in the market. Because we see that these guys who are competing for new customers, they see retail entering slowly. When you see someone big buying, they see the price going up. when the positive narrative is coming into the market, not just for one asset. The idea about the Binance decision here, it goes very bullish for the entire market, because that kind of gives you an idea about the secondary sales. Yes, sure, that was the same argument which the code actually gave for XRP, which was clear, but still for some reason the price has not resonated with that in terms of XRP, which is a little bit depressing for sure. But then the market is always like that for XRP. The history of that asset agrees with that each and every time. So prepare yourself for the next mind-boggling rally, which is about to start. Whether you look at the Ether market, whether you look at the total altcoin market or the total crypto market, the idea remains the same. Watch for the next reversal candle. Use that for your advantage. Again, if Ether is to show you this 1, 2, 3 move, that is going to be one of the biggest blow-offs in the ERC20s and a lot of different altcoins. Use that for your portfolio. If you haven't smashed that like button, I would request, please do that for me. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.